What is lock? It allows different types of resources to be locked by a transaction. When users access data, the data is locked so that the other users cannot modify the data that someone else is reading. A transaction is a unit of work submitted as a whole to a database for processing. Where are locks controlled? Lock administration is kept by most SQL products in the internal memory of the computer. Usually, a large part of the computer memory is reserved for this, so locks are not stored in the database. The granularity of a lock refers to the size of the locked area. It allows for multiple rows to be locked by different processes at the same time, whereas table-only locks would allow only one process to acquire a lock on the entire table at a time. What are its advantages and disadvantages? When you lock a row, the chances are that you won't block other transactions. Thus, concurrency is high. On the other hand, there are many locks, so overhead is greater. When you lock a table, the chances are that you will block other transactions. Thus, concurrency is low. On the other hand, there are only few locks, so overhead is smaller. It shows that as lock granularity moves from the database level to the column level, overhead increases. Overhead goes up because there are more locks to manage as we move from large to small granularity. It also shows that concurrency increases as granularity gets smaller. There are three transactional faults: dirty read, non-repeatable read, and phantom row. Dirty read. A dirty read is the process of reading database records without locking the records being read. It is a read that sees a value from another uncommitted transaction, which may be subsequently wrote back, resulting in a local copy of a record that is not consistent with what is stored in the database. Non-repeatable read. The non-repeatable read is a situation where a session finds itself in when it performs multiple reads on data for a specific purpose. It is possible to perform the query in the same transaction more than once and get different data. Phantom row. A phantom row is a row that doesn't appear in an initial read, but appears when the same data is read again during the same transaction. This can occur if another user inserts a record while the transaction is underway. There are different types of locks, but for now, we will only discuss 5 locks: the shared, exclusive, update, intent, and key range. Shared locks. A shared lock is a read lock. These are set when SQL Server performs operations such as select statements or other operations that read but do not modify data.
Yeah, man. So we back in the club with the bodies rocking from
Exclusive locks. Exclusive locks are generally reserved for data modification activities. These are used to lock data being modified by one transaction, thus preventing modifications by other concurrent transactions.
hands up. No control of my body. Ain't I seen you before? I think I remember those eyes, 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 eyes. 'Cause baby tonight, the DJ got us falling in love again. Yeah, baby tonight, the DJ got us falling in love again. So dance, dance like it's the last night of your life. Life won't get you right. 'Cause baby tonight.
Update locks. Update locks are a mix of shared and exclusive locks. Operations such as an update might consist of multiple actions, including a read action to determine the data that it will update and write action to perform the update.
Down, 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 down. Hands up. When the music drops, we both put our hands up. Put your hands on my body. Swear I've seen you before. Think I remember those eyes, 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 eyes. 'Cause baby, tonight, the DJ got us falling in love again. Yeah, baby, tonight, the DJ got us falling in love again.
Intent locks. Intent locks are a means in which a transaction notifies other transactions that it is intending to lock the data. Its purpose is to assure proper data modification. This prevents other transactions from putting exclusive locks in the table that would try to cancel the row or page lock.
I'ma jump through your Fruit Loops, call a Chico Toucan. Went from the blocka, open locker, where them boys get loose like Waka Flocka. Now I'm as global, I soccer, Lale Flocka. I wanna be your guy, no, not your doctor. Dale, abre ahí, papá Nicolás, baby, let me see. Yo soy el cubanito que está tostadito, yo fresco, no, ok, medio un poquitito.
The DJ got us falling in love again.
Let's take over the
Yeah,
world.
baby, tonight, the DJ got us falling in love. Let go, fall in love. Oh, so dance, dance like it's the last.
Key range locks. Key range locks protect a range of rows implicitly, including in a record set, being read by a transact SQL statement, while using the serializable transaction isolation level. Key range locking prevents phantom reads. Isolation level. The isolation level determines how sensitive a transaction is to changes by other in-progress transactions. By determining the isolation level for a given transaction, you can determine what types of locks are required. Now we will discuss the 4 different isolation levels: serializable, repeatable read, read committed, and read uncommitted. Serializable. A serializable transaction is fully isolated from other transactions. A range lock is placed on the data you use, thereby preventing other users from updating or inserting rows that would fall in that range. This is the only isolation level that removes the possibility of phantom rows. Repeatable read. A repeatable read transaction can read the same data more than once, retrieving rows that satisfy a where predicate. In this case, shared locks are placed on all data that is used in a query. This prevents others from modifying the data, and it also prevents non-repeatable reads. However, phantom rows are possible. Read committed. A read committed transaction can also read the same data more than once, but in this case, the read returns the same rows. Shared locks are held while the data is being read by the transaction. This avoids dirty reads, but the data can be changed before a transaction completes. This may result in non-repeatable reads or phantom rows. Read uncommitted. A read uncommitted transaction can read the same data more than once and read updates made to data by other uncommitted transactions. No shared locks are placed and no exclusive locks are honored. Dirty reads are possible, but performance is increased.